We're on.
Okay. Good afternoon, colleagues. Good morning. Good evening, everyone. My name is Massimiliano Sani. I work for UNICEF in the regional office here in Eastern and Southern Africa, and this session is brought to you by UNICEF. It's a collaboration between our regional office and also our headquarters. We have with us also Hira from the Global U-Report team, and also Victoria, also from the Global U-Report team, and I will hand it over the floor to them very soon. Just to say, I don't know if you're familiar with U-Report, but basically it's a digital platform, and Hira will talk more about that, that all of you can use to basically be engaged in this difficult time, particularly around the coronavirus response. But actually, this platform exists it can be used for any topic of your interest. Just to say that UNICEF is currently counting a lot on the support of the Scouts. We have a very good partnership with the Scouts all over the world, but particularly in my region where I work. So we're very glad about this opportunity, and we believe that particularly adolescents and young people can really play a tremendous role to reduce the spread of this virus. That we know the situation is difficult. Many of us are working from home or are staying at home. We are a bit bored, but it's better to be bored than sick. So you all can help us to spread, to share the messages, the key messages for prevention, related to hygiene, related to the physical distances that is required in this difficult time. So basically this session will talk about a little bit how we can really prevent this further spread of the virus, or at least try to mitigate the spread of the virus, and at the same time be engaged and be maybe less bored in this difficult time. So you can definitely support the global agenda on this. Thanks a lot. So I will hand it over to Hira for the presentation on your report, and then I will also be able to respond to your question together with Hira and Victoria. Hira, over to you.
Thank you, Max. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure being here. I must start by saying that when we were approached by the Scouts to come and talk a bit about U-Report and UNICEF's youth work, this idea of holding the world's largest jamboree is just so fascinating. And all the young people who are part of the session right now, it's just amazing how you're utilizing your time. Not just, I know you guys, the Scouts as an organization are one of the best when it comes to physically taking actions, being really involved in your communities, helping others, just changing the world for the better good. And you guys are not stopping, and everyone is here online learning, and what the marvelous sessions the Scouts have put forward. So in the next few minutes, we'll just basically talk about a platform, a UNICEF platform called U-Report, which is basically a participation platform for young people. And it is not actually new to the Scouts movement. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with it. Whoever is familiar, just type a message, if you know about U-Report. For those of you who do not, we'll just walk you through it. So like I said, that U-Report is not new to the Scouts. Roughly about 500,000 Scouts are using the platform, sitting at their homes while they're being involved in your community action, with your organization, taking decisions in over 20 countries right now. And what both organizations, UNICEF and the World Organization of the Scouts Movement, they partnered in 2014 for two basic purposes. A, you need to strengthen the communication. When you communicate with your communities, they need to be reached with the right messages, with the right message on various topics, be it emergency, be it disaster risk reduction, child protection, health, life skills, entrepreneurship, water hygiene or sanitation. And then that's number one. And the second part is the dialogue. Of course, with UNICEF and Scouts, we're promoting messages, but also the platform U-Report is creating a dialogue with the communities as well. So it's not just one way, it's a two-way platform to hear the feedback and voices of young people, specifically the young Scouts who are involved in this partnership, but also communication as well. And to date, like I said, 20 countries are have partnered in country with the Scouts movement and scaling up the platform, and is one of the core engagement partner for U-Report, UNICEF all over. What is U-Report now? Let's get to it. So Europort is a mobile empowerment program that connects young people all over the world to information that changes their lives and influences decisions. And how do you use it? It's pretty simple. It's a mobile platform and you use it through mobile. Currently, it has over 10 million people globally who are engaged with the platform. They use it for the two basic purposes that I mentioned, for real-time data collection, feedback gathering, and for real-time communication sharing also. In countries that we work with, it is owned and operated by UNICEF and the NGOs that we work with. It is free to the user. And what we mean by that is that if you're using Europort by SMS, you don't pay for the platform, right? The costs are covered by the telecoms that we work with, or UNICEF as an organization itself. It is also accessed through digital channels such as Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, Viber, Telegram, or Line. And Max will just talk about how you guys can play your part, join Europort, but also play your active part in the coronavirus outbreak response as well. All the results, all the communication that is done, it is transparent globally. It is available through this website, www.in. And the platform is available in multilingual interactions between young people, community, the government, and civil society organizations. I mean, you can see the scale to date, and just going a bit back to where it all started. So Europort as a platform started in Uganda in 2011. When the entire work began, the basic purpose of having this platform was to give a voice to young people, so that they not only receive information, but they can report issues, they can let UNICEF know what's happening in the communities, and UNICEF, along with the partners that they work with, they can share that information with the government to tell them that, look, this is what young people are saying, this is what communities are saying, these are the problems you need to address. And so since 2011 till date now, we have 10 million people engaging and playing their active role in changing the local and national policies, giving feedback to UNICEF and the partners that we work with, and most importantly, enhancing the accountability through citizen feedback. And these are the three basic goals of the platform. Scale means the more people there are on the platform, the more relevant the results will be. Engagement is through short surveys that, or poll questions that young people participate in, through one-on-one counseling through the platform, through bot interactions, which Max will talk about on COVID, and through positive change, which means the data or the voices of young people that are coming on the platform, they're just sent to the decision makers and the policy makers to make a positive change in the life of people all over the world. So how does it work? It's pretty simple. It's like I mentioned, it's active in 68 countries right now, but there's also a global platform, and you guys can join join and test it yourself towards the end of the presentation. So young people, adolescent, community members, they opt in Europort by just sending the keyword join to either SMS, Facebook, WhatsApp, Viber, Line, or Telegram, these channels. Once you opt in, you'll be asked 3 questions, and the questions will be: what's your age, what's your gender, and what's your location. The platform is completely anonymous and it's completely confidential. Even us sitting with in UNICEF as running the backend platform, we cannot access the personal details or the telephone numbers of young people interacting. And this is what makes the platform so unique, because young people, when they're engaging, when they're reporting issues, they trust the platform also, because they don't need to worry about their privacy. Whenever you report through Europort, several poll questions on the topics that I mentioned, they send, young people participate, they give their feedback, and then they're all collated and published real time on the website. And if you visit www.europort.in, you can see different ways young people are participating and voicing and amplifying their opinions through the platform. They're also receiving one-on-one advice. The users are mapped through location, gender, and age, and they can also be addressed to different fields, for instance, their education, their career aspirations. And lastly, It is run by a committee of partners in any country that we work with, which means that UNICEF, along with partners, in which Scouts movement is one of our key partners globally, they sit with us on our global steering committee. They are in the steering committee of several countries that we work with. And this makes this entire process of working with young people, engaging them, so, interactive, with feedback coming from not just UNICEF, but all these actors involved to make a positive change in the lives of young people. And just before I pass it on to Victoria, one of our colleagues, I'll just basically run through how Europort has been used globally, why you as a young person should participate. Europort data or young people's voices have helped shape so many of policies at the government level or at a UN agency level as well. Through Europort, voices of young people, or organizations such as the United Nations, such as Scout movement itself, or the NGOs that we work with, you can measure awareness of young people. You can measure their attitudes towards a particular topic. So, for instance, before we begin talking about any subject or giving information, you need to understand what is the basic perception of young people or of a young person on that attitude. So, for instance, what would be a perception of young people on coronavirus, right? And what information do they need before UNICEF as an agency or Scouts as an agency collaborate to share that information which young people really need. Europort has been used for research. It has been used to reduce distance between the citizens and the government, just in a way that UNICEF and partners are sharing the data with all the voices of young people with the government regularly. It is used as one of the key platforms for disaster preparedness and emergencies, and Scouts as an organization has played a key role specifically in this area. It is used to measure behavior change. It is used for one-on-one counseling. Europort have been used to understand demand of what a community wants specifically, in a disaster or an emergency context, or responding to and providing to services. For instance, if UNICEF as an organization or a partner is distributing health kits, they can also get feedback of the users who are accessing or getting hold of that kit on what do they think of it. And this exercise was actually done in Pakistan and pretty useful in modifying the way UNICEF is responding to communities on emergencies, specifically with the health kits they're distributing. And lastly, all in all, Europort is an empowerment platform. The more the voices of young people on the platform, the easier it is for organizations like UNICEF and Scouts to go and advocate with the government to, like, this is what young people are saying, this is what needs to be changed, and this is what the government needs to do to improve the lives of young people and the government. And this has been happening since 2011, and right now over 10 million people are participating and making a positive change in 68 countries that we live in. And I'll now pass it on to Victoria. Victoria Ndoh is one of our colleagues who have really extensive work experience coming from countries like Nigeria, which is the largest Europort platform in the world right now, with 3 million people collaborating. She has worked in Ghana, and she has worked in very close collaboration with Scouts as an organization, and she'll come and talk to you about how Scouts and UNICEF have collaborated together in various countries to utilize Europort and make a change. So over to you, Victoria. And let me know what change I'll switch to next.
Okay, thank you, Hira. Hi, everyone. I'm happy to be joining you online on your online jamboree. And I know some of us are in lockdown in our different countries. I hope you're keeping up with your activities indoors to make up your badges and all of that. And yeah, so I'm really excited to be joining you guys online today. So like Hira said, I'm just going to be taking you through some of the countries, case studies where we've worked in close partnership with the Scouts. So I'll start with Uganda. I'm not sure if Hira mentioned earlier, but Europort actually started in Uganda. So that's like the pilot country where it started. And there are currently over 250,000 young people who are registered to help UNICEF in Uganda. So, and they have a strong partnership with the Scouts there. And the Scouts actually in Uganda, they helped with registering getting a lot of young people to join the platform. So they're huge. One of the major partners of UNICEF and Europort in Uganda is the Scouts. So The feedback that's informed decision-making, feedback from polls that we run on U-Report has informed decision-making in Uganda, and information that's received through U-Report is discussed with parliamentarians in government, you know, through the community via newspaper, radio spots, and it's actually so big in Uganda that every parliamentarian, you know, in every district, there's one U-reporter. So one parliamentarian is a U-reporter in every district because they use it as a tool to hear from their members of the constituencies. So it's now like a tool that's used in government to hear from their people, to hear from the young people that they normally would not have access to. So this is what this platform provides. It gives young people an opportunity to speak up, for their voices to be heard by decision makers and policymakers. As a partner, Scouts in Uganda, they ensure that the impact and quality of the projects made, that the quality of the projects made an impact in the livelihoods of the people in Uganda, especially the most vulnerable people, and in some cases displaced people. So some of the key issues, they highlighted some of the key issues that were identified through U-Reports in mainstream media and government. So the way that would work is, for instance, when they run a poll, if they ran a poll and most of the respondents said that we don't have, this is just an example, we don't have running water in our communities. With U-Reports, we can just see the way the results are, because when you register, we ask you, we're not taking your name because we want you to be anonymous, but we also take your sex because we want to know if you're male or female. We ask you, what district are you in, what region, because this helps us when we get data back. We know, so if you said that there's no running water, we can tell based on results that have come in, we can tell what district you're in. And when the government is involved and they see that maybe there's a high percentage of people in a certain region or district in your country that's saying that there's no running water, they can act on that and fix that. And that's what happened in Uganda with support and with help from the Scouts. So it helped just amplify the voices of young people. And they worked on various campaigns, MDGs, before it became the SDGs. And we also worked in partnership with other UN organizations like the United Nations Population Program, that's UNFPA, on issues like female genital mutilation, Day of the Girl Child, sex education. A lot of broad issues are covered on U-Report. So when we're working with WHO, issues like when there was the Ebola outbreak in Africa, so that was something that we worked with the Scouts on, and just to help amplify the voices of people and get government to take action when it's necessary. So next slide, Hira, please. Thank you. In Pakistan, I hope everyone can hear me. In Pakistan, for example, it was used for disaster risk reduction. So Scouts and UNICEF in Pakistan partnered, and they did this to maximize potential and reach young people when there was a disaster. So they also used it to educate young people on issues like climate change, and also just empower them to take action and improve their lives and just know the right things to do, to be, to act right, to do things that would not harm the environment and just be right for their communities. Next slide, Hira, please. Thank you. You can see these are pictures from youth camp. This was in Pakistan, so in partnership with the Scouts. You can see some of the Scouts there, and there's Hira right there. So you can see some of the Scouts. I can see them in their neckies and all of that. Next slide, please. Thank you. And I think they developed this. This had to do with monsoons, and just there's different slides. If you look at the first slide, it says monsoon caution, not to be forgotten. So children know what to do in the event of a monsoon, or, how to, just take care of themselves and be safe, and not to panic. And you have the next side that says, don't panic, be bold, drop, cover, hold, just what to do in the event of a disaster. Basically just educating young people on what to do. And then, it goes on to, I think there was a DVD made of it, which can be seen right here. So yeah, so all of this was done in close collaboration with the Scouts. And that's why we say it's a partnership that it's gone a long way, and it's been used to achieve different things in different countries. So I'll move now to Indonesia, where they have approximately 70,000 scouts who have were reached through the partnership of Europort and the Scouts. And the partnership areas were prevention of violence against children, because that's a very big issue for us at UNICEF. And violence against children is something that we campaign about, globally at a regional level and at country level. So this is a major thing that we worked on with the Scouts there, and improving nutritional habits and practices of adolescents. Then ending open defecation. This is an issue that not just in Indonesia and other countries as well, in a lot of countries in the developing world. So we're happy to partner with the Scouts on that, and to just make sure that young people are educated on things like this. They know what to do, and they can also even teach their friends from what they've learned from Europort. Disaster risk reduction. That was another area of collaboration with the Scouts in Indonesia. Scout members joined the training on community digital story. So community digital story, so telling on climate change. So just being able to share their various stories on climate change issues and all of that. So next slide, please. Yeah, and these IC materials were developed in partnership with the Scouts. You can see, yeah, it says here, Europort Indonesia. I think that was like they had it during the Jamboree, and this was 2016. So yeah, you can see, I can't read the language, and I won't claim to be able to read it, but that's very clear. The third slide on top, you can see the Europort Indonesia Jamboree. So it's a national Jamboree in 2016. And next slide, please, here. Next slide, please. Thank you. In Burkina Faso, now we're moving to Africa. In Burkina Faso, empowering communities and connecting youth with policymakers, which is like one of the major arms of Europort. I mentioned earlier how it's used in Uganda. So in different countries, we just use it in different ways to achieve different things, but we all have the same goals. So that's why in Burkina Faso here, you can see they're talking about linking up youths with policymakers, because that's a major arm of the Europort. So here they work with the Ministry of Youth in Burkina Faso, and they partnered with the Scouts. So the Ministry of Youth partnered with Scouts and UNICEF in 13 regions of the country. And so what happens when there's a partnership like this, because we at UNICEF are not able to, we have, in some countries, the Europort desk, there might only be 2 people working on it. So they don't have that manpower. They cannot reach the entire country, but Scouts has a great network. You're in I think all countries, you're in every district, so it's just an easy way for us to reach people that ordinarily we can't reach by ourselves at UNICEF. So in Burkina Faso, the Scouts were able to recruited 520 Scout volunteers to help reach young people in the different regions and just educate them, and also to hear their concerns, their views. This were probably done through polls. So when that partnership is built and young people join, when you take part in a poll, that's making your voice heard, that's giving your own opinion. If you want the government to act on an issue, or if you want your voice to be heard on a certain issue, joining Europort and taking part in a poll is a great way to do that. And this is what was done and achieved in Burkina Faso. So they were able to reach young people in different geographical locations across the country with the help of the Scouts. We would never have been able to do that without that partnership with the Scouts. Next slide, please. So I'll hand over back to you, Hira.
Yes, I think this is now with me, actually.
Yeah.
So I hope that colleagues, you're still enjoying the session, and we try to respond already to some of the questions in the Q&A, the chat. Please feel free to pose your question in the Q&A, so we will have 15 minutes at the end until to respond. I want to now walk you through how this platform that really help young people to get connected, get information from UNICEF, from partners, from the governments on different topics, as we have seen different examples from Hira and Victoria. But now in this particular difficult time of the coronavirus epidemic, of course, we all want to have good information, correct information. And we know that there is a lot of wrong information circulating on the social media. You know, sometimes even myself, I've seen my particular friends in my country, in Italy, posting in their Facebook a lot of wrong information around the coronavirus. So we really want to ensure that you all receive good information, correct information, and can ask questions and can also clarify your own doubts. That's why UNICEF launched this information chatbot. It's like one of those little robots that answer automatically to any question that is sent via either SMS, via Viber, Facebook Messenger, and WhatsApp. And I really believe that at least all of you have at least one of those channels in your mobile phones. No, either can send an SMS, or can probably all of you have WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger and potentially Viber. So you can definitely access the chatbot for coronavirus and look at the different areas or the different thematics that are available to either ask information or look for information around how coronavirus is spread. How we can prevent coronavirus. So what are the preventive measures? What are the most common myths around the coronavirus? So I will talk you in a minute how to connect to our chatbot. But before, in this slide, you can see that since the 17th of February, when we start to use this chatbot at the global level, we have more than 2 million people that access, and mainly, I would say, adolescents and young people that access this chatbot for more information. So it's definitely a very useful tool that can help many of you to clarify your doubts. And please feel free to share this information with all your friends, with all your National Scouts colleagues and friends, so that anyone has access to this tool. So maybe Hira, next slide, please. Which is also the last one for the presentation today before we go to the question and answer. So here actually is the concrete way how to connect to the chatbot for COVID-19. So the coronavirus disease that was discovered in 2019. That's why it's called COVID-19. If you have a Facebook Messenger, okay, in your phone, just go to m.me-ureport global. Send the message Scout. So we created a specific, let's say, keyword or question for or channel for the Scouts, and then you can start to select all the areas that you are interested on. And we would really like to invite you to especially there is a quiz on the most common myths around coronavirus. As I mentioned, there is a lot of wrong information, so you can definitely take that quiz to test your level of knowledge. Just to give you an example, we did this quiz in Tanzania last week through a specific UReport poll, and we discovered that the majority of our friends connected through UReport in Tanzania, we got 20,000 adolescent young people responding, so quite a lot of young people. The majority thought that mosquito could carry the virus, which is, until, at least for what we know, it's a wrong information, it's not correct. So you know that mosquitoes can carry dengue fever, can carry malaria, can carry many diseases, and until for what the scientists and the health authorities know, mosquito is not able to carry the coronavirus from one person to another person. But still many young people in Tanzania thought about that. So it's important to take this quiz to demystify potential wrong information that we might have. So as I mentioned, either through Facebook Messenger, and I spoke about it, either on Viber, it's very similar. You can follow the 2 steps basically to connect, or on WhatsApp, you have to save the number +66 800 249 442 in your phone and access basically as would be your friend, any friend, send a message through WhatsApp, send a message Scouts particularly, and start to navigate and access all the information that is available. As I mentioned, you can ask information around prevention, around how the virus is transmitted, what you can do to reduce the spread of the virus. And we discuss already a lot about, you know, stay at home as much as possible, reduce contacts. Unfortunately, it's going to be a bit boring time for all of us, but as I mentioned, it's better to be bored than sick, and especially carry the virus potentially to other people. So I think this is all from us. We can see maybe which questions, some of them have been already responded. But we have here 4 questions. So where about are you in Italy, and are you scared? Okay, this question is actually for me because I'm Italian, but in reality I'm based in Nairobi. So I'm not in Italy, but my family is all in Italy. So of course we are worried. We are somehow, I would say, all scared. My sister right now actually probably has the virus in reality. She probably discovered yesterday. But the good thing is that the majority of the people that get this virus get mild symptoms. It means that they won't necessarily develop all those tough symptoms that some people have experienced. And of course, we know that some people died, right? But the majority of the people that died are usually elderly, so old people, people with already health preconditions. And this does not mean that the virus is not, let's say, dangerous also for us, for young people, especially. Well, I'm not young anymore, unfortunately. You are definitely much younger than me. But basically, we all have to be concerned, and especially because even if I don't have symptoms, I might carry the virus, and maybe I might transmit to my, for example, grandfather or my father that is 73 years old. And in that case, he might get sick, and for him, the consequences could be much worse. That's why I think we have to be cognizant that and take all the preventive measures. As you report, I look at the next question. How has your report been used in USA? Maybe I will ask this question to be responded by Hira, if possible.
Yeah, sure. So just like, you know, we in the beginning that we mentioned that Europort also is used globally through the Europort global platform, like you're seeing here on your screen. But Europort is also present in countries where countries discuss or use the platform in their own way through their local, you know, way. In USA right now, currently, Europort as a country platform is not active, but there are many Europorters from USA who are part of Europort Global. So if you're from the USA, if you're from Bahamas, if you're from Italy, if you're from Spain, you can still, even if Europort is not live in your country, you can still join Europort, amplify your voices, be part of this entire movement by joining Europort Global. And like Max said, here are your ways. If you just send the word scouts to any of these platforms, either on Viber, WhatsApp, or Facebook Messenger, then you can begin and start playing your part.
Yes, thank you, Hira. And maybe the next question is also for you. So the how to be digital brand ambassador for you report. So this is actually, we got 2 questions related to that.
As Manish, that's actually a really good question. And in countries where we've seen a big successes of specifically scouts who've really strengthened this entire movement of making sure that both the organization UNICEF and Scout, they utilize the Europort platform and spread, share the information, share life-saving information, provide feedback, and have as many people as possible be part of this network. It was done through digital brand ambassadors, basically, not digital. Manish will take this idea back to Scouts, and I think that's a really good start for us, Max. This is something that we can speak about as well after the call, where I'll talk about one thing here. The other day, I got a message. I'm not based in Pakistan anymore, but I did work with Europort in Pakistan, specifically really in close collaboration with the scouts there. And they're just one of the best people I've worked with. So they said that, hey, we don't know how we can help, but we're happy. All the scouts are ready to help in any way as possible digitally. So, and Manish, you have given us a great idea as well, where this entire COVID-19 response can have you guys join us, be digital ambassadors for us. We can replicate our local models that we've implemented in countries where brand ambassadors can now be converted in digital brand ambassadors. This is surely something that we'll take up as soon as possible, and we'll get back to you. I've noted down your name as well. And when Max and I both speak to Annie or someone else in the Scouts movement will update you. But this is definitely something we're going to go ahead and do it from UNICEF's end, right? Max, would you like to add anything?
Absolutely. No, and I also would like to highlight another very good idea that we got at the beginning of the presentation. There was somebody that asked, let me see if I found the name. 1 second. Sorry, because I want to acknowledge, yeah, Nolen, if I pronounce correctly. She wanted to, or he or she wanted to know if they can receive a badge if they access to your report. And I think it's a very good idea that we can explore with the Scouts at global level, because maybe accessing the your report platform, and plus maybe either responding to some polls or taking some actions, becoming a digital ambassador for your report, that would qualify all of you to receive a badge associated to that. I think it's a very good idea that we will definitely take and discuss with our friends in the global Scout team, and also here in our regional Scout team. There was another question. Sorry, Hira, yes?
Yeah, I'll just mention something. The Scouts badge idea has already been implemented in Indonesia. So they've already done it, where the Scouts who are pretty much involved and do their tasks in collaboration with Europort, they get a badge. And I just want to go back here and show you what the badge looks like here. So it's already there, but Max, like you said, it needs to be global, you know, throughout all countries where Scouts are working.
Yes, exactly. So we can actually get inspiration from what our friends did in Indonesia, and share this idea to all countries where we have already Europort. There were actually a few questions around also in which countries we have Europort. As Hira said, we have the global page, and I put the link responding to one of the questions. So I guess you all have received, but basically for those that might not have received, is basically Europort.in. If you put in, even in Google, Europort.in, like India, IN, then you will get to the global page. And here and there you can see at the top of the page, basically which countries you can access all the global, the country page, clicking select your country. So right now are 66 pages, and we really welcome you to register either to the global page if your report is not in your country, or to the country page. You can decide. But if you want information on coronavirus, exactly, Hira just projected now all the countries that we have. You can see all the flags. So it's already basically almost a third of the world we have already report launch. There was another question, basically if the chatbot is online, if I understand correctly the question. The chatbot is already working. So if you either access through WhatsApp Messenger or Facebook Messenger or Viber, you can already start to access the chatbot and ask questions around the coronavirus, or access the different sections around the coronavirus disease. So please feel free to do it. And Hira is projecting again the leaflets, let's say the flyers advertising this information. I'm sure that also our friends from the global team of the Scouts will also share these flyers that we sent to them. And the same thing also about the presentation, because some of you are asking if we can send the presentation. Absolutely, we will. Actually, our friends in the Scouts global team already have the presentation. They will be able to send it. There is another question specifically if your report is in the United Kingdom. Hira, correct? It is, yes, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, can you hear me? No, actually it was.
It was, okay.
So if you're from the UK, you can join the global platform.
Okay. So in this case, from the UK, we recommend to join the global platform. Sorry for that, but I mean, still is very interesting. Of course, the only difference is that the information is global, is valid for all of the world, and is a bit less customized for the UK. There is also Julieta Morales saying that she tried the quiz and she got the perfect score. Well done. And the facts around the coronavirus were so interesting. So thanks, Victoria. Thanks, Julieta, for doing it already. And maybe we could also encourage everyone to also take the quiz. Please connect. You know, you have all. I'm sure that you basically, I don't know how many hours you spending on WhatsApp or on Messenger these days. So, you know, take the time also to learn something about the coronavirus. There is another question, can the COVID-19 go towards our personal challenge badge? I guess this is a similar question to the one before. So right now we don't have specific badges for related to your report. Or maybe the question is different, sorry, because I'm not sure I'm understanding correctly. Maybe the question is if the virus can stay in your badges or in your cloth, right, in your clothes. Unfortunately, it seems that the virus can stay on the surfaces for quite some time. You know, the scientists are doing a lot of studies right now to try to understand this new virus, because it's a new virus. So of course, also for them is all new, and they're currently doing a lot of studies. For what we know right now, but it might change, you know, in 2 weeks, in 1 month. For what we know right now, the virus can stay for 2 days in a surface that is, for example, plastic, and 3 days if it's metal. And on cloth, I haven't read specifically any exact, let's say, number of hours, etc. But definitely what we recommend is that if we go out to, for example, do your shopping, I'm not sure if you or your mom or your dad or whoever is doing your shopping, when they come back home, and I did it this morning, actually the recommendation is remove your shoes, don't enter with the shoes in your home, because unfortunately it seems that the virus can be spread also, you know, basically from the bottom of our shoes. And maybe wash your clothes. So put your clothes that you used to go shopping, which right now is basically the most risky behavior that we are doing, no? When we're going out from our home to buy groceries. So there is a lot of probably new information that we receive in the upcoming weeks. So please also visit, if you're connecting to your report, you will also receive these updates. That's another, I think, important element to consider. So there is a specific question from Messenger. How do you find out COVID-19 info? So I think, Hira, can you talk about that specifically?
Yeah, I'm displaying it right now. If you don't want to go through the link mentioned, just go on your Facebook, right? Like I'm on my Facebook right now. On the search button, write U-report global. You see this page, you click on that, and then you just send a message. As soon as you send the message, you'll get a response, get started, and you begin. Just click on send the message, and it's easy to join.
Yes, it's very easy. So also share it with all your friends, please, because this really can help saving, you know, information can save lives in this coronavirus epidemic. So please really be our ambassador, be our supporter, share all this information with your friends. And there is, just because we have only 3 more minutes for our session, trying to respond to all the questions. If we can, how many people does your report help? Right now we have 10 million people connected all over the world on your report, but with your help we can get many more. So we would like to have all the scouts all over the world connected to your report. That's our challenge that we are launching to you. Can you help other countries even if you're not in them? Yes, absolutely. We have the global report page, which can be accessed by any, you know, any adolescent and young person, or any person all over the world, even if the report page is not active in that particular country. How can Indonesia get the badge? I think this was a partnership between UNICEF and the Scouts Indonesia. They developed the badge themselves, connected to your report. So we will definitely reach again out to them to learn how they did it, and exactly what were the key steps in order to get the badge, because we know that for the Scouts those badges are very important, and we would like to probably to share the same idea with all the other countries. Yes, because we are stuck inside. That's not a question, it's a message. Yeah, I know we are all stuck, but as I mentioned, better to be stuck than sick, correct? So have you seen already that many people unfortunately are dying all over the world because of this disease? And so yeah, we just have to be patient and try to actually be occupied as much as possible. And becoming our report support ambassador and supporter, I think maybe can help you also to be a little bit less bored. And I guess this online jamboree, these 3 days, I think it has been a fantastic opportunity for you to make new friends, connect, and stay tuned as well. Is there a Facebook page that I can sign up for? I think we already responded to this. So if, go to your Facebook page, put in the search you report global, and then click it, like it, and then send a message so that you can connect with the chatbot. How we can work here in India? India has definitely your report, correct, Hira? So maybe
Yes,
just
India. Just
yes.
like Matt mentioned, on Europort website, click on India country list, and then you can see the procedure how to be part of Europort in India. They're also active on SMS.
Yes. So if your friends, for example, do not have WhatsApp, do not have Messenger, they only have maybe the small, the more simple phones that work on SMS, especially for those Europort countries that are activated Europort, usually they are all on SMS. So you can see which number you have to send your SMS text with the word usually join. Or it can be translated into the specific language in order to be connected to that Europort India, Europort Mozambique, Europort Zambia, or Europort whatever it is, the country among those 66 that we have all over the world. I think we responded to all the questions, which we are quite happy about. And actually, we are also over with our time. We did exactly 45 minutes. So since there are also other sessions lined up, we don't want to take your time. Sorry, I'm just seeing one more. Where did you find the quiz, Julieta? The quiz is actually on the chatbot. So connect first with the chatbot, the COVID chatbot, through WhatsApp Messenger or Viber, and then you will see there is an option to take the quiz. So we all encourage you to do that, and happy to.
The quiz is the most popular one among all the scouts who've entered the chatbot right now, and you get your scores, and we'll share this. You even get the scoring as well. So it's good to be part of this activity, learn, but also sort of assess what you know or what you don't.
Yes, so thank you again, all of you all over the world. Thanks also to my friends Hira and Victoria, and thanks again to the Scouts team for allowing us to present today. So I hope that you enjoyed, and please share all this information that you learned with your friends, and I'm sure that you will receive the presentation through the Scouts webpage. Over. So we just want to salute you. By the way, we cannot handshake. So we here in our region, we are proposing, I don't know, for those that have seen the Black Panther movie. So the Black Panther salute. So this is the new trend here, at least in Nairobi. I hope that you all do the same when you're greeting your friends, either physically or digitally. So stay safe, and I hopefully stay at home, and try to not get this virus. Ciao. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.